And this is very important in reference to another thing of Frank Sinatra's fucking lies and his fucking tricks. Uh, his fucking dumbass made up shit claiming that he asked me when I was a little boy whether I would ever smoke cigarettes or not. Now, you know, when I was little, I had the candy cigarettes. My mother smoked cigarettes. My father smoked cigarettes. My parents had the same genetics as me, you know, my real biological parents. And Frank had made this shit up. I don't know who the fuck he was talking to, but he wasn't talking to me. And, you know, he made up some fucking lie claiming that he tried to make me promise to him that I would never smoke cigarettes. And he tried to say either this was at the studios or it was supposedly at the Sands Hotel Casino or something back in the day, you know. No, I never promised him nothing. I've never made no business deals with Frank. I've never been associated with Frank. And my father wrote a check when he bought Frank's copyrights, or he bought his copyrights in reference to singing or music. And my father wrote on the check, "Don't ever ask for anything ever fucking again." And I'm not sure if it said anything about, said don't harass his wife, don't harass me either, his child. You know, I'm the child of my father and mother. But there was a document or something, or my father wrote it on the fucking check that told Frank to stay out of his life when my father bought his copyrights. We need that information shown on the internet too. There's like a copy of the check that the Treasury has or something, or they have documents over there in reference to my father. My father owned the studios, and Frank was having hard times or something, and Frank wanted to sell copyrights or whatever to the studios or something, and my father bought his copyrights, and then Frank supposedly went around running up bills at my father's restaurants and casinos and shit like that back in the day. I'm not sure what the numbers are. I have no clue. Somebody has it on record somewhere, probably in Vegas or wherever. But in reference to Frank, he tried to make up this shit, claiming he thought I promised him something when my mother had restraining orders on him. My father had restraining orders on him because he was stalking me when I was a little boy. And he was trying to call me his boyfriend when I was a little boy. This ain't no bullshit. Check with the studios. They have records of this at the security office or the main office of the studios. Reference to Frank stalking me when I was a little boy. Hey, I'm not hiding nothing, man. The studios is obligated to publicize the information of all the tricks and all the lies of all these tricksters and bullshit. But Frank's been in the satellite control room, or he was working, I don't know if he was working in the Indianapolis Police Department or something, and he was conspiring with some other people that was stalking me. They have phone records in California, and some of these people had meetings in California as their way of kidnapping me from California or something. Some people that was tied in with government. But in reference to, that has to be revealed too, man. But in reference to the facts of information, I never promised him that I would never smoke cigarettes. But he has tried to communicate this shit like, you know, the studios has communications and people are trained in communications in reference to certain indications that the studio would try to indicate to a person for, you know, acknowledgement purposes of the studio and safety and security of the studios, you know. They just clamped on my mouth. The satellite man, or in reference to Frank Sinatra, he was making up shit, trying to claim that he thought I had to listen to him. Well, my mother prosecuted him and sued him for his lies and tricks. And he was stalking me at the studios. And my uncle Jack Warner, because you know, Jack Warner's like one of my godfathers, you know, in reference to history and the studios and things like that. And it's on record too. But, you know, publicize that in the media too. But in reference to Frank tries to make up this shit, trying to claim he thought I was obligated to him. And there was court cases when my mother had him in court, and he tried to say that he was holding me, he kidnapped me to hold me hostage to claim he was trying to prevent me from being a Hollywood wild child. When I've never been a wild child, never did drugs, never been involved in criminal shit. But then my mother had prosecuted him and sued him in court for kidnapping me and holding me hostage or something. Him and his buddies, or who his friends are. So in reference to the tricks, I never promised him I wouldn't smoke cigarettes. And either way, he has no connection to me or my mother or father's estates or the studios. Look up the reason why Frank was blackballed, why they blackballed him from Hollywood. He was punking people, abusing people, terrorizing people. And there were some other people that got blackballed from Hollywood in reference to the government was terrorizing celebrities when they would look in their mirrors. These helter-skelter people. That needs to be publicized in the media too. There were some satellite controllers from the government that kept terrorizing, starlets and leading men in Hollywood, saying shit about their looks, saying shit about their faces. And they were burning them with satellites and burning their faces and teeth when they would look in the mirrors. And it is obligatory of the studios to publicize those records in reference to satellite controllers burning the faces and teeth of celebrities in Beverly Hills and Bel Air and other places. The studio is obligated to publicize those reports. That was back in the 70s. And then there was a gay organization back in the 70s that was trying to infiltrate into the leading men of Hollywood and trying to call all of them gay. I mean, you look at the stories, they made up all these stories after such and such celebrity died, or they said such and such celebrity had AIDS, or such and such celebrity had some type of problem. Look up the information. In reference to the kind of shit that they said. They said all these things after all these celebrities, or when the celebrities had died, or whatever. They said they had AIDS, and then their gay boyfriend in Hollywood was suing their estate, claiming they had gotten AIDS from celebrities, is what these gay men of these government parties was trying to do. They were trying to make up lies to steal positions in Hollywood. That has to be publicized. That has to be documented in the media. The FCC knows about that kind of shit too. They need to publicize the information. How these men tried to get into Hollywood to accuse all the leading men of being gay and accusing them of AIDS is what these government people was doing. Or these gay men claimed that they had gotten AIDS from all these celebrities. Some of that might be true, don't know. But not all of it. But then these people tried to steal the estates. Like there's a story about Liberace's estate and some gay man that tried to steal Liberace's estate. And then there was all kinds of other stories of certain celebrities that they made up these falsifications. Like the guy that tried to claim he thought he was the butler of my mother. That man was never the butler of my mother. Then he tried to claim that he thought he was the heir to the estate. No, the Royal Protocol is the documentation of my ownership forever. But you know the story about, in reference to the butler, he claimed that he was the butler of my mother. And he claimed that he thought he was the owner of the estate. No, the Royal Protocol in the media is documentation that I'm the owner of the estates of my mother and father forever. No matter what anybody says. Not even if my parents came back to life. I am the owner forever, no matter what. And it says that in documentation of my mother and father. So these people making up this shit, they just hit me in the throat with a satellite. And Frank was trying to make up this shit saying, he said, you promised you would never smoke cigarettes. No, I didn't. My mother and father smoked cigarettes. James Dean smoked cigarettes. A lot of people smoked cigarettes. Marlon Brando smoked cigarettes. A lot of actors or entertainers did that, didn't they? It was like the cool thing in Hollywood. But people smoke cigarettes with filters. Some days back in the day, they didn't have filters on some cigarettes. But anyways, I never promised him I wouldn't smoke cigarettes. He's one of the satellite controllers and one of the people that's been holding me hostage. Frank's still alive, even though he faked his death or whatever. Or it's one of their government conspirators or whoever it is. I have nothing to do with Frank. And he's been holding me hostage, and people know, in reference to voice recognition, whether it's Frank on phone lines slandering my character or whatever he's trying to do. They'd be able to find Frank with a satellite because they know what he looks like. They know his height. They know everything. You know, they know things how to locate Frank Sinatra if he was still alive. And if he was the one stalking me or terrorizing my life. You know, if he was working as a cop, it's illegal. He violated the laws when he kidnapped me. And look to see what buildings and police departments my parents owned. My biological parents. Low Walt Disney World and Low Duke Farms. Lots of things of importance. I'm the owner of my mother and father's estates forever, no matter what anybody says.